Hello, my name is Dmitry Rudenko. I'm the General Director of International Marketing Group Ukraine, and I would like to tell a few words about our new webinar. It's dedicated to the how to do the CATI in Europe 2 times cheaper than in India, and even 4 times cheaper than do it in Europe. So during the webinar, I will tell you a few words about how we do it, about the general problems that we face when research companies face their international research, etc. But first, I will start by my introduction. So I have a work experience in marketing in the leading Ukrainian and international companies over 16 years. And the company that I have established in 2004 is now in top 10 national research companies in the country. And we have luckily and successfully accomplished more than 450 research and consultancy projects over the past 10 years. So I do have some experience in this stuff, so I can. I think that information that I give you and the options that will be presented can be very useful for you. So let's continue. So this is a few words about our company. So we work closely with the Fortune 500 companies, starting from the number 2 Shell, BP, Total, Philips, BNP Paribas, Nestlé, Siemens, Sanofi, Aventis, whatever, and other companies. We started from the desk research, and we have a team of experienced marketing analysts with good experience in reporting. But the main thing we're talking about now, it is the capabilities in the CATI, that we have a network of interviewers. We have a dedicated call center with the possibility of carrying out the polls in the national and the European level. And here are the main things I would like to discuss. The main problems of international research are shown here. So you see that when we start doing international research, we face several things. One, it takes more time because we need to understand the data sources. We have to find out the correct contacts to speak about. We have to do a lot of preparation work. That's why we need much more time comparing to doing local research. Second one, we need more people. Well, as we need more time, we need more people who will help us with that. So we need people who will look for the sources, will prepare the database of the respondents. It will take, as I told before, more time and more people. Then, maybe the most important one, maybe it's not always more people, but it's always a high qualification. Unless you have a high qualification people, then the normal, as for the local market, you can't do the international research. At least these people have to be qualified as not native speakers, but very high level speakers that can speak the ideas, they can ask questions, and which people who can understand the answers and interpret and try to reflect it and try to understand it and to mark the appropriate answers and to understand their open-end questions, whatever. So another problem, so it is the language. So it's okay for India and it's okay for other outsourcing countries to have interviews who know English. It's okay, it's no problem. But when we speak, when we need to do projects on French, in German, in Spanish, in Catalan, in other languages that are spoken all over Europe, also Russian and other Ukrainian and other languages, the main outsourcing companies and the countries, they face a certain problem because they don't have enough people who can speak freely using these languages. So it's another problem. You need people who are qualified to speak normally. Then, when we speak about interviewers, of course, you need a high-skilled interviewers who understand the subject of the research, who have the best ways to have people who have the basic education in the area of the research. In this case, they understand the terms and understand the concepts. It's hard to instruct the usual interviewer, even with a good knowledge, to speak freely about some technological things, especially in B2B. When you speak about contracts, when you speak about technical specifications, whatever. The same situation you face when we talk on pharma, with, as you know, some medical terms, concepts, whatever. The interviewers who speak about that should be quite familiar with that. So also, the same thing we face when we ask people about luxury things. So the one thing is to find out the database of the people and to find the appropriate contacts, the correct contacts who can help us to reach these people. And another point is to make them to ask them for participation and to provide the correct answers for them. So this means that you need interviewers who are not only capable to speak their local language, but they should be quite familiar with the industry and the topic we're speaking about. So also for the preparation of this webinar, we have prepared we do some mystery shopping, and we have compared the average pricing for the European CATI, for the different European markets. And we have gathered the prices from the European and Indian research agencies. So the task was to estimate the cost of 300 interviews for the building companies, and for 1,000 consumers. We have defined consumers as an individuals who made renovations and are going to make them in the near 6 months. So it was the, let's say, so-called the construction materials buyers project. So we have defined the interview duration in 15 minutes, and we told that the database of respondents should be provided by the performer, by the agency, and we will give, as a client, we will give the questionnaire in English. So it means that the English questionnaire should be translated to the local language. And we did not require the audio recording because not all companies provide their customers with the audio recording, but we did not ask for that, but we told that it can be a plus if the audio recording will be provided. So let's click to the next slide to get the results. And for the here are the average prices in United States dollars, given to us by the European and Indian research companies. So first we'll see the B2B row, and you see that European companies usually estimate the average estimation for one interview. It is $35.9 US per interview. So first I have to indicate and have to explain how we calculated the price. So we have summarized all the project's costs, and we have got the total cost, including taxes, including agency fee, including everything. So it will be the total cost for consumer. So, and we have divided the total cost for the consumer by the number of interviews to get the actual cost of the interview. This it will help us to compare all the let's say all the offers correctly. And of course it includes in this case it includes incentives to understand the net, let's say the total amount of the costs. So European companies estimate the B2B CATI in $35.9. Indian companies offer a little bit better. It's better. It's $10 less. So it's $25 per interview. But also we did the same estimation for our company, and we have only $12. As for the, I will explain how it can be managed correctly and how it can be done without with the appropriate quality using this amount. So the next row is B2C CATI, and European companies have estimated the B2C CATI in $16.7 per interview. The Indian companies showed us almost the same amount. It's about $15 per interview. So I remind you that this is the interview for the European markets. So we have respondents, for example, we ask respondents in Poland, in Belgium, Germany, in France, whatever, in, let's say, in European country. But for if we do it from the Ukraine, it will cost only $7. And now I'll explain how it works. So we'll see the amount of money that can be saved per interview. So of course if we'll ask European, we used the level of the cost of the European companies as the best level. So if you ask European company to do the European research, you'll have zero discount, so you'll have a zero profit. But if you ask Indian company to do this work, you'll have, in case of B2B, you'll have a almost $11 plus profit in B2B case. In case you'll do it with the IMG Ukraine, you'll have almost $24 of the profit just per interview. So when we speak about B2C CATI, European companies will remain the same basic level, and the Indian companies, if you work with the Indian companies, it will be at the average price, you'll have $1.7 profit. But if you'll do this work in Ukraine by the IMG Ukraine, you'll have almost $10 per interview. So this is how you can save up to 2 times per interview, or even more. But how it can be possible? Well, you see that the main reason for low pricing is comparatively low wages. So you'll see here, this is Ukraine. Ukraine is here. You'll see it. I will mark it with red. So this is Ukraine. Here is Ukraine. It's over here, and you see that it's quite the average wage is quite low. You see that the most, let's say, the most expensive countries are here. It's Scandinavian countries, it's France, Belgium, whatever, and other countries. So the central, let's say the Western Europe is most expensive. Then you can see the Eastern Europe, but Ukraine, it's about 141 euro per month. So it's quite low. Well, it's low, but it's low due to the low living standards here and low development of economy here. It's correct, but it also gives the option for having good profits here, because we have all the stuff, we have enough capacities to do that, and low wages allows us to give low prices. So the low pricing means that for someone who can sell it good, the person and the company could have good profits. But and this is the, let's say, the average monthly wage in US dollars by different sources. So as you see, in Europe we have $2,400 per month. In India, due to the latest information gathered by the World Bank, it's about $295. But in Ukraine, due to the same sources, it's about 149. I think it explains the difference of the pricing, because as we know, when we speak about interviewing, the main cost is to pay for the labor, to pay for the interview. The cost is the labor of the interview. It should be covered. So the main secret for saving money in CATI in Ukraine is the low wages. But the next thing is, does the low wages mean low quality? And I think no, because the quality is good. When you speak about Ukraine, Ukraine is a European country, and Ukraine is the most educated nation in the world, because we had a lot of people, well, almost all Ukrainians can read and write. It's okay because we have a good, well-developed system of secondary schools, and 70% of adult Ukrainians have a secondary or higher education. I think about half of adult Ukrainians have a higher education. So high education means that they have a quite good knowledge of the language. Some of them do, some don't, but we have good labor force. We have it's quite developed, but it's low wages. the opportunity we have during the last economical crisis, because even a few years before, the average salary was about $600. Now it's 3 times less. But I think that this opportunity will recover quickly, and in a few years we'll have about the same. We'll have about the same cost. But due to the current situation, it's a good opportunity to do business in Ukraine. It's a good opportunity to work with the Ukrainian CATI centers who have the knowledge of the different languages, first of all European and other countries, and the prices now are quite affordable. And the quality is good because the service sectors, the service sector is the largest. Well, it's about 68% of the Ukrainian labor force works for the service sector, and it accounts for the 60% of GDP. Well, as you know, Ukraine is one of the most developed countries who provide the IT service. So we are ranking 4th in the world for the number of IT specialists. So behind US, India, and Russia. And of course, not only the IT services, the programmers themselves are quite numerous, but the people who help them work, the phone operators, the managers, whatever. So we have quite big amount of high-skilled people and high-qualified people with a strong intention to work on and in getting money on all over the world. Next, I would like to show the case about our company, how we did the project for the Indian research company. The project was quite complex because we had to make interviews with 20 cardiac nurseries from a very limited number of German hospitals. There were only 21 hospitals, and we have to ask the cardiac nurses about the stuff they use, about technology they use, about manipulations they do. So it's very specific, and this information is very specific, and you can't get this information from no one else except cardiac nurse. When you connect to the German hospital, of course, you'll get to the administration directly, and you will not get the correct number, so you can't ask the administration to call for the cardiac nursery to come from home, because to take the phone. This required to manage the databases, to find out the alternative sources. So it took us a lot to browse through the internet to find out the direct contacts of the nurses, and luckily we have found the several sources, the several websites where the cardiac nurses are looking for the job. There are special German, let's say, internal websites where you can get the phones and the information about the nurses to qualify them as a cardiac nurses, and it helps us to get the correct people to speak about. The length of interview was 25 minutes with audio recording, and the project time took about maybe 2 weeks, of the field work. And after that, our task was to recruit and interview these people, and the task was accomplished successfully. So we have done all the recruiting. We have provided customer with the full length interviews, and we have proved that our work is done correctly by audio recordings. So as far as I understand, the initial customer were Indian pharmaceutical company who provide the cardiac surgery, cardiac surgeons and medical sisters with different materials and different stuff to support heart operations. That's why I think that's why Indian company was there for us. They were the customer, and we provided the customer with all the information required for the Indian pharmaceutical company. But it's not the only case we have. As for the international research, we have several of them, but I will give you another one example of how we help the glue lamp producer to understand the German and Italian market. So glue lamp is a glued laminated wood, which has very good capacities and very good characteristics as a building material, because it's quite ecological. It's wooden. It is not afraid of fire, and it can be very flexible. It looks good, and in Europe mainly, it's one of the most popular construction materials for the small houses and even for the stadiums, whatever. So in Ukraine we have the glue lamp producer who tried to enter the German and Italian markets, but it's not easy to get into the high-priced but very demanding market. So the idea was to interview the distributors of glue lamp and other construction materials in Germany and Italy, due to the special questionnaire we have developed together with the customer. So the audience was 300 distributors. The length of interview was estimated about 20 minutes, but actually probably there were several calls, and it's only an estimation, because actually it could be maybe 3 or 4 talks during 5-7 minutes each, because these people are quite busy, and it's not easy to find out these people and to manage and to understand if they are available at the time, whatever. But during the 4 weeks, the task was performed, and we did the recruiting, we did the interviewing, and we have prepared the final report where we give the producer the insights on market potential and probable barriers to manage to deal with. So we did not only the recruiting and full-length interviewing, but we also have provided the final report. Well, for all those who have participated in this short webinar, I would like to give this our limited time offer. If you order CATI in one country, for example, Belgium or Poland, whatever, you'll get the same research in another country for free. So it's 50% discount. And the offer is valid till 12th of December. Well, comparing to Indian prices, it means this time you will not save 2 times, but you will save 4 times for now. Well, this is the contact information. So you can contact me directly. Here is my email, and this is my email. You can ask me, and you can ask my assistant, who is responsible for the market research. So I will appreciate your, I thank you for your time. If you have some questions, I'll be very, very good and very glad on asking on them. Thanks a lot. So I'll appreciate your time, and I'm going to wait for your requests. Thanks a lot.